My name is Kara Monroe, and I'm the grounds supervisor at UAA. This is UAA's 11th consecutive year being named a Tree Campus higher education school through the Arbor Day Foundation. This national program recognizes universities that place the health of their campus forests as a high priority and encourage environmental stewardship amongst their campus communities. COVID has made this an unprecedented year for our school. Like most programming, in-person tree education brought to you by the Grounds Department has come to a screeching halt. This spring, there were no public plantings on campus for Arbor Day. And this fall, there will be no gatherings for tree tours. Campus building access remains restricted, but our grounds are open and walkable. I'd like to invite you to access our tree tour online, bring it with you to campus, and then use it as a guide to explore close to 100 noteworthy trees. This listing can be printed in advance and brought with you, or easily pulled up on your phone. All that we ask when you visit us is that you maintain social distance, and if you find yourself in the vicinity of others, wear a mask. Come with me now, and I'll show you a couple of the trees on our tree tour and explain how to use your guide to identify them. So the first thing you want to do when you get to campus is know where you are. And currently we're on the east side of Cuddy Hall, but a campus map might help you with that. And the next thing is take a look at the trees, and you're going to want to look for these tags that are hanging here. They have numbers that correspond to your tree tour listing. So just match the number 3 to the number 3 on your list. And you might also notice on the back that there are QR codes. If you have a QR code scanner on your phone, scanning that will pull up the tree tour list. So it's especially nice for people who encounter these tags and don't know what they're for. All right. So this next tree is our Usurian pear tree. And it's one of the hardiest of the pear trees. So pears are not typically a common tree that you see in South Central Alaska. We do have several varieties of pear trees on campus, so this allows for cross-pollination, and we occasionally get small pears from our Usurian pear tree. This one is notable for its beautiful fall color. We have a lot of yellow in Alaska, so when these trees that have the red fall color pop, it's very stunning. All right, let's go walk to our next tree. So this tree, it's number 6 on your tree tour list, and it is our Bur Oak. So again, oak tree is not a common tree that you see in South Central Alaska. This, again, just like the pear tree, is the hardiest of the oak trees, and we like it for cityscape plantings because it is tolerant of urban conditions. We've seen immature acorns produced on our oak tree, but nothing resembling the acorn form that you're probably familiar with. So the next tree that we have here, number 9, this is the Norway Maple Crimson King. Norway maples are pretty common street tree planting in South Central Alaska, especially in Anchorage. This variety, the Crimson King, is notable because you're going to get more of that burgundy fall color versus the yellow fall color of a lot of the other Norway maple species. Something to note about the Norway maple is that it has landed on some invasive species lists in the New England states. It outcompetes their native sugar maple. So, like all introduced species on campus, we closely monitor these trees for any kind of characteristics that might make it creep out into the landscape and naturalize, like our, for instance, the Mayday tree, the Prunus patis. Other than Norway maples, we have quite a few other varieties of maples on campus. The Amur maples, the silver maples, and the Tatarian maples. So, again, just like with the crab apples, another fun thing to do with children is to collect the leaves from the ground and kind of explore the comparisons and contrast the fall colors. These seeds are popular, these winged samaras. to our next tree. This next tree is our Thunderchild crabapple. So very striking maroon foliage. And I wanted to draw attention to this one. We have a tree, and you'll see them planted on campus, the Canada red chokecherry. And like its cousin, the Prunus patis, the Mayday tree, we've started spotting these Canada red chokecherries. They're naturalizing and they're moving into our wild areas and becoming nuisance invasive species. So this Thunderchild crabapple, it's got that same foliage coloration that a lot of people value, that maroon color. And so I just wanted to draw attention to that as a substitute for those Canada red chokecherries. And it's a goal on campus to get all of our Canada red chokecherries replaced with something a little more friendly to our Alaska landscape, like the Thunderchild crabapple. All right. Staying on the theme of crabapples, we have our spring snow crabapple. And an interesting fact about this one is that it is sterile. So you've seen all those unique crabapple fruits, and so for the most part, this crabapple is going to remain fruit-free, which may be something desirable if it's planted in a landscape where you don't want those fruits falling onto a sidewalk or into a yard. So you may spot a fruit here and there, but overall, they're not going to be populated with crabapples like a lot of our other crabapple varieties are. So this is our Siberian Larch, and it is noteworthy in that it is a deciduous coniferous tree. So most trees are usually one or the other. It has characteristics of our evergreen conifers, but it's going to lose all of its needles in the fall and become bare, like our deciduous trees that drop their leaves. So it never fails. We get calls every year asking why all the larch are dying, and they're not dying. They are just dropping their needles. So the last trees I have to show you today, these were planted in 2015 during our Arbor Day tree planting. So our first one over here, this is a golden spice pear. So you can see the pears that are growing on here throughout the tree. The next tree over is our Prairie Magic apple, and these produce quite large apples. You can see here, it's a staff favorite taste-wise. And the last tree in the row is an Evans cherry. So this is a self-pollinating cherry. You don't need other cherries, and every year it produces a large crop of cherries. So like I mentioned, these were planted in 2015 for Arbor Day, and that is something we absolutely look forward to doing again with the public, with all of you in the future. So in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you're able to get out to campus and conduct your own personal tree tour and explore everything we have to offer here. There's a huge collection and lots to be enjoyed, especially now with the fall color. All right, thank you so much.